Thank you. So, what are the tools we use for, generally, what are the tools we use for predictive analytics? We have the do your classification, the do your integration, the do your data mining. We have time to use data now, a lot of those stuff. Now we have neural nets, a lot of advancements in neural nets. I would have loved to explain, but apologies because of the time constraint. And then we will share this slide. Sure, we will share the slide with you. Then we have tools. Next slide. We have tools that we use. Generally, we have open source tools. We have the YARs of this world, the Pythons of this world. We have the TensorFlow. We have the Keras of this world. And also, we have those are open source tools. We have proprietary tools. We have SAS. We have IBM. Bluechip is also here. We have others like that. Can we move? Thank you. Okay, so this is actually very, very important. He is going to dwell very well on it, and I've heard several speakers on the main what's it called, the main summit auditorium. They've spoken well about it. You need to establish why you are doing what. So it's important that you have a business understanding of your data. In other technical terms, we refer to those as having domain knowledge. Without the domain knowledge, it's an exercise in utility. Like Scott said, garbage in, garbage out. Having the data is one thing. You being able to understand why you have such transactions or why you have such data is really, really, really important. So apart from the business understanding, you need hello? Okay, so you need the data understanding. He's going to throw more light into the data that has been generated. I can tell you for a fact what we do with them, but this is not the session to do that. So, of course, you need to collect your data. You need to model your data, you need to process your data, you need to deploy your data, and then you need to continuously monitor what you have done. Next slide, please. Okay, so I won't dwell too much on this. Right, next slide. Okay. I would have loved to talk more on this, but depending on the industry, your data can be internally generated or externally generated. It's for where we are now, regardless of the industry. If you are in the banking sector, you need to have a feel of what your customers are talking about your bank. You will see people come to social media now. You say, Access Bank, apologies, you are owing me. Where is my money? They call you out. You know how customers are. They will call you out. So apart from those internally generated data, you need those externally generated data. When we talk about externally generated data, we are talking about your social media platforms. So it's key. And then, you need to understand that the structure of that data is entirely different. How do you look at it? API calls, those other things you have to understand. So it comes under data collection, data processing, data preparation, algorithm, modeling that you choose, the algorithm that data components of it. Internally generated data, again, depending on the industry. For instance, for example, you talk about your CDF or your ETL, event generated data. These are the transactions that happen the moment you pick up your phone and start doing something. Can we move? So, now, key to why we do predictive analysis is the why. What do you want to achieve? What is the objective? Because that is the starting source of it. For the marketing team, the why would be they want to reduce for the HR team, as ridiculous as it may sound, HR will want to reduce staff attrition. So there is no industry that you will not do analytics to be done. So regardless of the industry, you need it. Because key and the most important is why are you doing that? Do you want to improve your growth? That's the one. Okay, more. Next slide. Segmentation, categorizing your users, and more. So at this point, I hand over to
Good afternoon once again, everyone. Apologies for the rush. We talked a little bit now. But I think as much as possible, I will try to do some justice. So I got my laptop so that in case there are any pictures, I can use this to control the slides. Well, so let me just start by asking a question. Before I ask you today, what does MTN do? What kind of company is MTN? Telecommunication. Does that in any way signify that MTN is a data company? Yes or no? I mean, depending on the answer, depending on how you see it, whatever answer you give will be correct. Okay? But the answer is actually yes. Now, but do we know the difference between a telecoms company, between a telco and a techco? Does it mean, what's the difference between those two words? Telco and techco.
telecommunication and technology
Company. So a telecommunication company is a telco and the technology company is a techco. I will have to be vulnerable at this time to say one bank, one organization that took the lead. You know what people have been doing before now is that you just look at their industry and you stay on your industry and you say I'm a banker. Or we're a bank. We're a telecoms company, we are this. But the first organization to bring that this was DTV. You know what they said? They said they are a digital company but operating with a banking license. Now, MTN, we have also decided that we are not just a telecoms company, but we are now going to become a telco, a technology company. Meaning that beyond allowing you to be able to make calls, send your SMS, your data sessions, charge, and all of that, we are offering some other digital services. And that requires that we make a whole lot of changes in our systems, in our processes, in our resources, we recruit, and a whole lot of things have to change. Please, if you can bring the slide up. So this is to take us through the journey of this whole predictive analytics. Just look at our footprint. 76 million subscribers or data subjects. For those of us who are aware or who are used to this discussion around data protection that is going on, we have data subjects. That means you are somebody that can be identified. So we have 76 million. You only think we have some 6 million subscribers in Nigeria, in MTN. And now you add MTN to 9 Mobile, Global, Airtel, maybe all of us will be more than, maybe about 80 million. Does it mean actually that those people actually own? Please, you can leave the picture. I think they're more interested in it. Yeah. So does it mean all of these people actually? Does it mean we have 100 and something million people with SIM cards? Wait, what was human beings that? Remember when BVN came into being? What we had was we thought we had so many account numbers. We decided to harmonize, and you realize that it's just this one person that is having 3, 4, 5 accounts. So we are going beyond what we call subscribers to what we call customers. A subscriber is different from a customer. I have 4 MTN numbers, understandably so, but I'm just one customer. But what we are giving you now is based on what government reports, 76 million subscribers. So look at that number. This is like if this is supposed to be a population of the world, we are number maybe 13 or something, or number 27 or thereabout. So that's a huge number of people we are talking about. The number of systems we have and applications is about 196 as at our last count. Actually, we can around that. Some of my colleagues are here, so they might be able to help. Now, the third one is very important: billions of data records daily. This is not money. We might not say we make it. So we have over 42 billion CDRs every day. What that means is that for the calls you make, for the SMS you send, for every data session, for your recharge, the ones you do not necessarily store are your balance inquiries. Because those will now take out the system. Bluechip is helping us with one now around making sense out of your browsing, which we call the deep packet inspection. So when we put all of that together, over 42 billion on a daily basis. We have 15 petabytes of data storage. This looks like the largest we have in Nigeria. The largest in Nigeria, that we're sure. Maybe Africa first or the second or the third. So I'm not trying to let you understand where we are coming from. And the problems we have, you can't have this kind of footprint and not have problems. It's a good problem that we have, just like what we are experiencing today. We want to bring people together. Now the number is beyond the room we have. So we have this kind of setup. Data points. What we mean by data points are some key metrics that we take on a daily basis. We try to know you from your profile, from your location, from the kind of things you use. Over hundreds of those data points on a daily basis. API calls to our services is in millions, over 100 million API calls daily. Now, 20 plus analytical models, thanks to Bluechip and a few of our partners that will be able to help us with this. Consumers are now so much to do with systems that still take data from us. Once all of our systems come together, generate their own data, and the systems that take data from us, over 20 of them. We have, of course, have to create our reports and dashboards. Otherwise, we will not know how much you are making a day as an organization. We need to know how much exactly we are making, how happy our customers, which of the products we're selling, and all of that. But around all of this, it is then required that you have what we call a big data platform. So MTN today has a big data platform that is originally powered by Hadoop technology. That went to Cloudera. Now we have it on another open source tool, and Bluechip is also helping to support that. So this is us in a nutshell. Now I spoke about being a tech co. When we're a traditional telecommunication company, these are all the data we deal with. But as a tech co, it becomes something else. You now need to be able to see other things that we don't even understand. Pay attention to the one. Sorry, I don't have a. There's something called anecdotal data. You may want to check the data. What that simply means is data from everywhere, unstructured, things that maybe come from social media that you need to actually apply a whole lot of models to because before you can even make sense out of them. Now, we can go to the next slide. So we go quickly. Now, because of our vision to want to become a technology company, we have to do something. A company like ours will not play with standards and best practices. So there are organizations in the industry and there are frameworks that said for you to know where you are, you need to do an assessment of yourself. This is a summary, but there's actually some questions they will ask you to know where you are. So look at this journey. At the point when you just have your small data, you get information. Then you move from there, you get knowledge. From knowledge, you get insight. From insight, you get foresight. From foresight, you get wisdom. This is the journey of data. This is what you can do. If you look at our country today, some of the problems we have is that most of our data, government decisions stop maybe on number 2. And you guys can look at it. I mean, if you have any, but I think for most of them, we just rush and okay, this data says that nobody just jumps into conclusion. How then do you jump from number 2 and go to 5? How do you move from this from descriptive and say, okay, I now understand it and wisdom is the point when you take decisions. But people they only have information at the level of knowledge and they then use that to make decisions. And that's why a whole lot of decisions are wrong. And you can even apply this at family level. A child is giving someone and that's the way his grandfather used to do. So we just come to that conclusion. So you don't take decision until you must have gone through this stage. So as MTN, we have to be honest with ourselves. Where do we think we are? We realize the point of that arrow was where we were. We were at the point where we are between diagnostic and predictive. But we need to move on. At least we must stay between the predictive and procedure. That's why the predictive part, and I must thank Bluechip for this topic, is quite very important. Because that's the point at which you can do what we call proactive customer care. I can detect, oh, this customer is struggling with recharge. I solve that problem before you even call me. There's a telecoms company somewhere in Asia that does not have a business center, a service center. Just imagine a company is existing, there's no service center. When OPay and the rest of them came, we thought they don't know their office, they don't know anywhere. But they are successful. So some don't even have any service center they can work to, but they have a way to solve the problem. If you have a problem today on WhatsApp, where is your service center? They still solve the problem all the same. So because they are so good at this level of predictive analytics, and that is where this important thing comes to called data monetization. Now, monetization is not only about the money you make. Yes, it's about that, but it's also about reducing waste. If you're able to reduce waste, then you're able to monetize. Because if I'm supposed to spend $1 billion or something, and then I spend only 200 million because I'm able to remove waste, that means I've saved some money. I could report my 800 million on top of it as what? As some revenue, as some profit for the organization. So we were here, but we now needed to go on. And how did we get there? That's what I want to show us next. Everything people will tell you should go back to the basics. The first man God created is Adam. So we decided to create in MTN another Adam so that we can solve the problem from foundation. Where are we coming from? This is what our environment looks like. We have silo behavior, shadow IT. An organization like us, you can understand it. Everybody knows data one way or the other. So people, what they do, they just go on the cloud, create an environment for themselves, start doing whatever they like. So at the end of the day, we do not have a consolidated view of what our environment really looks like. So we had all of these problems, and that was costing us a lot of money. Now look at this different environment. It showed us a slide on. I will need you guys to read through it. The slides on the tools. Some were using SaaS, some Jupyter, Python, all sort of things. So these are the issues we have. But what we did, we wanted to create an environment where we can get all these benefits, where we can maintain ownership, where we can have consistency in our processes, where we can have people work together, collaboration. And so we created a platform called Adam. Well, Adam, this one is not the one that ate the apple. It's another Adam. So this is what Adam stands for in MTN. Adam simply means Advanced Data Analytics Management and the platform. So what, from people, process, and technology, we realized we needed to do. Does anybody know when we have? Is it almost? Okay. So from people point of view, we know we needed data scientists, we need what we call citizen data scientists. I know somebody we want what's left between the two. Your citizen data scientists, you guys will understand, but citizen data scientists are domain experts. They are data scientists, but they also understand that particular domain. The rest you know. And the process, we have to put all of this in place, particularly agile delivery. For any one of us who is not familiar with this, let's understand this whole agile delivery, how it works. The whole thing around DevOps is quite very important. And of course, in terms of technology capabilities, streaming and batch processing, we have to do that, model interoperability. So let me just, as much as possible, we can share the participant copy of this. All right, so the architecture of our platform, the platform we built to support our predictive analytics vision is what you see on the screen. For any regular data pipeline or data lifecycle, you start from the ingestion to your processing, but this is the core, the data science environment. This is the core where we created an environment, and we are supported by Bluechip, by Google, because you also must not play with your ecosystem. You can't do this alone. You need to understand the ecosystem that supports and power all of your dreams. So we have to work with the DCP and with Bluechip and the rest of the partners to work on this part, and this is where we develop those use cases. Now I'll show you a few of the use cases where we have done. So someone was mentioning, I can see it. I'll just read it out. Someone was mentioning that you need to understand what you want to pin down, whatever predictive analytics you are doing, or even your AI program, what exactly are the use cases of interest. For us in MTN, there are 5 areas we needed to deal with. First is around the customer experience improvement. We really want our customers to have a good experience of our services. So we needed to create use cases around that area. The second for us is around sales forecasting and prediction. Today we're able to know that people in the area they may not be able to recharge because the agents that are around that place do not have enough. Yeah. So people in Anapaya, for example, might not be able to recharge because the agents around there, their stock level have actually gone down. So we're able to predict that from that analytics. Also, it's about customer retention and market share. If you understand how businesses work, yes, in as much as we collaborate, there's competition still. So we don't want Airtel to overtake us. We have the highest number of suppliers, we continue to fight. So that market share protection is very key for us. So that is something we also have to realize as an organization is a KPI we have to deal with. But in that area too, we're seeing we need to struggle. Around our products, let me be honest, some of my brothers know MTN products more than me. They tell you this product is this what they do. So they understand even better than myself because they see it and study. But when there were so many, because people were asking for many things. But at some point, you have to now put it together and have some form of it. You find a product catalog. You can go there easily and understand it. So that's also not to confuse our customers. We have to do some form of product rationalization. The other important thing for us is network performance management. Today, you are going on the express road, you use network. We know, we are also using the same environment. We know exactly what is going on. But what we've seen now, we put a whole lot of investment. How then do you optimize? So, for example, what do we need to do if a site is having so much of resources but is not carrying enough traffic? We take resources away from that site, automatically feed it over to another site. So those are the kind of things we have brought in from predictive analysis. So predictive analysis will let you know that with where this site is going, services are going to be coming out. And that's the last part of it. This is a nice video I want you to see just in 1 minute. Because when you are able to do predictive analytics, what you are seeing is money is coming, your data is in new order. I want you to pay attention to the companies that were tech companies, the big names we knew before now, the likes of IBM, Intel, and how the likes of Meta, Apple overtook them with respect to their market capitalization. Okay, just watch. Let's start it.
Plug it to your laptop.
No, they don't sound.
Start. They didn't sound. Okay.
Yeah. So just look at IBM, Intel, Cisco, Oracle. Some companies that we are not even here as of 1998. So just see what is going on. So those who use data, see what they do with data. Then I will show us another one that is very interesting. After. You see what's going on. IBM, Intel, as some companies will just say, we won't disappear. We don't find a lead.
So essentially, you're seeing companies that are using data to make critical decisions. And unfortunately for the likes of IBM, hardware appliances, hardware-focused organizations.
Please, you can just move it back, stay on the last part of it so that we see where
Go back.
Go back.
Skip.
So we want to write up the page. Just click on the end of it. Just pause.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, just see what we're talking about. Apple, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, see them, they took over from the big names that we used to know. In fact, there are so many big names that are not even anywhere again today. But look at this next set of statistics that I think we should share. So for those of us who are data people, I mean, I'm so impressed. I was telling you we're coming on. We are not lazy Nigerians at the end of the day. We are very committed people. Because if you see the number of people that showed up today to be part of this kind of program, you must see that we have a clear vision of where we're going. And I think we deserve a round of applause if you ask me for all of us. But if you see this number, the last slide there. Yeah, the next one.
Yes.
Great. So these are some numbers from reliable research institutes, Forbes, Forrester, Allied Market Research. So what they have said, the amount of data the world is going to be generating in 2025 is about 180 trillion terabytes. Just imagine that. Companies that are commercializing or sharing their data for revenue, they will grow by 30%. The growth rate for inside the public companies is 7% year-on-year.
Apologies.
Now, the projected global data monetization market, that was 2020, was $45 billion. But please look at these four companies. The total revenue of Apple was $383 billion in 2023. But what they made from monetization, they did 45%. Which is around 172. If you do dollar at 1,500, I'm sure today is around 1,617. But if you do dollar at 1,500, that is the value 258.5 trillion naira. 45% of their revenue, which is what they made from data. Now look at Nigeria budget is how much? The whole country. 2024 our budget was $34 billion. So what even Alphabet, that is the top in the list of four, what they made from data in 1 year was almost times 3 of the budget of the whole country, the biggest African of the whole Africa. So this is the money all the politicians want to do. This is everything. Just one company. Look at Alphabet, Meta, Apple. When you go to Apple and you compare that one is like you just swallow the country times 10 or thereabouts. that shows us the value and the potentials in data. And that's where I want to leave it for now because of our time, to say I think we are all on the right path with respect to our choice to be in this industry. And for our country, we should begin to look at what we can do, really. If these statistics are this way, what can we then do with the Nigeria data? We have a huge number, and I think we can make a whole lot of difference. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That's where I will leave it. Thank you.
Thank you all. I wouldn't know. I have to ask the moderator if we have 2-3 minutes to take questions. Okay, please, questions?
Hi, I'm Babatunde Adebayo. I have like 2 questions. I was fascinated when you presented about how silo data digitalization can be used using different tools. I saw SAS, R, Python, and others. And I recall you said you now have like a unified platform. Is it that you are enforcing a single tool for all the data scientists, particularly? I think that's where my question is coming from.
Okay, so the thing about tools is this. There's a risk around it if you're not careful. The owners of the tools want you to believe that their tools are better than the others, which is never the problem. You can. So what we did was, as an organization, to say this is a suite of tools you can use. Yes, so it's not like it's just one, because by the time you say it's one, some are not even, some resources are not good with a particular tool. Some are better in one. So, for example, we have an in-house engineering team today. What we have just defined, these are the allowed ones. Because, again, the organization like us that is so big, we have to be careful around security. When you do a whole lot of these open source tools, before you know it, some vulnerability comes in. So what we'll try to do is to ring fence the tools we use, get the enterprise editions, or even though they are open source, but you see, ensure that they are enterprise. So it's not just one for each of the different layers of the data lifecycle, or maybe about 2, 3, and that is what you have to use as approved in the organization. So that's how we approach it.
Sorry, my second question is around data monetization.
Yeah.
I'm somebody very curious and very, very peculiar about the company I partner with in terms of data privacy. So I see you put up a chart, and I'm curious to see Apple there. And one of Apple's selling points is data privacy.
Yes.
And I'm now seeing next to it is data monetization.
Yes.
So could you please explain, is it that they are selling customer data, or they are just providing some personalized service?
Good question. Very good question. Very good question. Okay, do you know about MTN Extra Time? Do you know that's a data monetization service? So data monetization is not only when I pick your name, your number, your address, and I give it to somebody else. Data monetization could be that I'm just selling insights. So it's actually more of insight. So let me give you an example. We are partnering with Lagos State government on something today. So what they're doing is they want to know how people are moving so that they can use that to to plan the transportation system. So because of the data privacy, I cannot say you as a person, this is where you live, and you move from Magodo to Ojota, Ogudu, Third Mainland Bridge, down to VI. I will never give them that. But I can give them that all of us are, let's say we are 50. You can say out of these 50, 20 people are moving, and that is it. Who are these 20 people? They will never know. So they monetize data, not that they go to you as an individual. They monetize data, it's more of insights. That's what they do. But secondly, there's data monetization at individual level. It happens. But the way it happens is that the law says there must be consent. So if I need to give your name, you want to go and borrow money in the bank, and they say, and they will have told you that for us to do this, we are going to ask MTN for information. And you say, I consent. You say, yes. Now, what we must do, because there's a difference between a data processor and a data controller. A controller is a person that you keep your data with. The processor, like us in MTN, we are data controllers. We have your number, you register with us and all of that. Bluechip is a processor for us. They are not the data controllers. So if Bluechip is going to do anything with that data, the consent for Bluechip to use the data must come from MTN, being the data controller. So that's what the law says. So if you have given us consent to use your data, of course, we'll release it because you consented to it. So usually it's more of insight, but whenever it has to do with individual data, consent must be applied. And in some cases, when we need to even give individual data, we have to then do what we call anonymization. So I can change your name to something that nobody can reverse engineer to make sense out of it. So those laws and rules and guidelines are there and they are applied.
One more question. One more question. Just one. Our time is fast spent.
Oh, sure. Sure. So there's a you should know about GDPR. That's the one in Europe. But Nigeria now has its own local version. It's called the NDPA, I think. It's Nigeria Data Protection Act. It was regulation. I think they changed it to act when it became a law. Now they have a commission called NDPC, Nigeria Data Protection Commission. If your organization processes data of maybe up to 150 or 200 data subjects, you are required to register because they are coming after everybody now. So you must register with them. You must do what you call your DPI, Data Protection Impact Assessment, and all of those things. So that body exists. It's called NDPC. Just check their website. You will see the details.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, sir. Okay, my question is coming from the aspect of tools, right?
Tools.
Yes, tools. Like for data scientists that are like starting out, some of them will not get the opportunity to work in MTN at first because MTN is a very big organization. So now, if we come back to an SMB, a small medium business organization, how can data scientists because some of them do not have enough data, right? Those are the kind of problems that they face. So how do data scientists thrive in that aspect? The second question is there are tools like Odo that some of these SMB uses to analyze their customers' data. So if you find yourself in that organization, how do you make yourself relevant?
Okay, so this is what I would say for startups or SMEs or even SOs. There's one they call small office, home office, all those small companies. You see, if you don't just leverage like I said before, your ecosystem, your environment. For example, must identify your niche. This is the area we need to work or we need to function. But you have to do the one work. There's a work you have to do, and the work is what are the data sets that you need. Some don't even have that understanding. They don't know. They just feel you just find yourself somewhere. What exactly are the data sets you need? Someone was saying in the panel that you must know what the data you need and exactly the use cases. No, so once you have that, the issue of the tools, what do you call it? So that tool, what you will have seen backends that they must have built it to any of these standard tools that was shown in that slide, like Python, PySpark, R, and the rest of them. So which you can make use of. It's not a problem. That's not the issue. But the issue first, if you identify that data, you then have to approach some of these companies that already have the data. As long as they see that you are also certified, maybe not necessarily certification in that sense, but they know that you have an understanding of the rules guiding that partnership and the engagement. And please don't go to them with, they should pay you for something. Let it be more like you need some form of partnership. Let it be simple. So once it's presented as a symbiotic relationship, it usually flies. But when people go with CAPEX in mind, those people we have on the MTN, they don't have so much of money. I mean, they might have it, but they don't have money to spend on those things are planned. So let it be that you are clear on your data needs, you are clear on your use case, identify where you get the data from, you can begin to approach them one after the other. And then your tools and your standard tools, just develop using those ones.
Most importantly, what value are you adding to MTN?
To whoever you want to partner with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you have a second
question. There was this. I think we've answered.
Thank you so very much. I'm sure the slides will be shared with you guys. Again, yes, we have your emails. There are so many things that we are supposed to look at. The challenges when you want to do predictive analysis. We have biases. I will tell you for a fact that against the black man, there is bias.
Follow AI very well.
It's the standard.
In fact, there's a place where they said everybody who commits a crime is a black man.
It's a black man.
And the model was speaking it that way. All of us are criminals.
Whatever you get, the result of your prediction is so very important and is based on the bias. It's based on how good your data is. So you have to keep those in mind. There are so many things we would have loved to discuss, but you have the slides. Thank you once again for coming. We appreciate you. We will share the slides with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
No. AI, a business first approach. So please do well to settle down. If you, what? Now. Yes. If you're for this, stay here. Go on for second speaker. Sorry, I just asked. I'm bringing him to you. For the next breakout session, different sessions are happening at the same time. So in the purple room, we have Discovering the Power of AI, a business first approach. So if that's the room or that's the session you want to attend, please find your way to Australia and Antarctica. That's where we have the purple room. For this green room, we have Optimizing Data Analytics for the Real Sector, which should be starting in a few minutes. While for the amber room, which is the Africa and Asia room, we have AI-powered business analytics. So please, if you are interested in the session here, please don't go, because if you leave and AI-powered business analytics is happening in amber room, that's Africa and Asia. The next room here. Yes, yes, yes.
The next vacation.
No, like screen this thing for the next session so they know what's happening. Like speaker card for Ash.
This is next one, Abby.
Yes.
Fine.
The next session here is happening in a few minutes. And the topic is optimizing data analytics for the real sector. So for the other sessions, we have Discovering the Power of AI, a business first approach happening in Purple Room, that's Australia and Antarctica. For this green room, we have Optimizing Data Analytics for the Real Sector. Then for the other room, Amber Room, we have AI-powered business analytics, and it's happening in Africa and Asia. Should I go over it again? For Purple Room, which is Australia and Antarctica, we have Discovering the Power of AI, a business-first approach in Purple Room. For this Green Room, we have Optimizing Data Analytics for the Real Sector. While in Amber Room, we have AI-powered business analytics. Please do also find your seats. If if you're not attending the session, please go to the other hall so you can get a seat. Because once it's filled to capacity, you most likely stand. So if you're not attending the session of optimizing data analytics, please do well to find your way to other halls so that you can get good seats. The breakout session that will be happening here in the green room is optimizing data analytics for the real sector. However, if you're not interested in this breakout session, the other sessions happening in the purple room and the amber room. For the purple room, we have Discovering the Power of AI, a business-first approach, while in amber room, we have AI-powered business analytics. So if you are not in the green room, if you're not going to be attending the next session, please do hope to find your way to the other rooms so that you can get good seats. Thank you. Okay. You just go here, though.
Shey they say they are bringing this thing. If you can get a seat,